Just got the box back from Houchen. Been waiting like 6 months since summer for this set. I'm just about to open the box. Let's see what we got. This box is like £30. Oh my god. Look at that. Let's grab it. Shit. There it is. Volume 2. The spine. There's like 8 more. Look at that. That thing is thick. Look at the trim, too. It's got the ribbon, the head and tail bands. The back cover looks good. The binding looks nice. Looks like they kept everything. These are all the title pages that I threw at the end of the book. Looks like that they got those in there as I wanted. The extras, too. See, shit did. Yeah, it looks nice. The printing looks pretty good. This picture is a little low quality, but the text is high quality. It's like the corner's a little dinged up, but that's probably fine. Those corners look sharp, little ding there. But this picture, this front cover, yeah, maybe there's a higher quality image of it out there. I don't really know. The spine. Let's see if they kept the title pages. They did. They did. They did do that. Yep. Fuck. Sorry. Looks good. I know I'm only looking at one of them, but there's all the extras. There they are. All the extras there. Variant covers. It's volume 2. Well, there's volume 1. Spine. It looks good, dude. Sorry for my crappy camera skills. Credits I put at the end, they kept that in. The extras are all here. Nice. Next book. This one is 4. There's the trim. Sorry. My camera skills are not the best because I'm kind of looking at them for the first time and trying to record it. Nice. And the spine. That looks awesome. I can't wait to put all these on the shelf. It looks like the spine on this one wasn't lined up perfectly, which stinks, but we'll see how it looks. Eyes of the Black Lanterns. I'll do a more in-depth look. I'm just gonna start trying to pull them out. Blackest Night. That's volume 3. Yeah, these look dope. This thing is a monster of a book. This thing's huge. Volume 7. God Hope. I'm gonna get more in depth with these. Volume 6. Oops. Level up forces. Yep. Here's volume 8. Wrath of the First Lantern. Wednesday. Right. Here it is in all its glory, the connecting spine for my set of Green Lantern, the Geoff Johns Era. 8 volumes, the entire thing, all the series included. Look at that. That looks dope. Yeah, that on volume 6, I don't know, that's the back cover sort of leaking onto this side, which really sucks, but I don't know what happened with that. Maybe the spine was a little too small, but this is a massive set and it looks incredible either way. Yeah, just look at those spines. All right, so let's start taking a look at these books. So first is Green Lantern, Geoff Johns Era, Volume 1. With the Green Lantern Rebirth cover. We have 4 names on the bottom. It says the Geoff Johns Era Volume 1, Rebirth. This book is a pretty good size. It's rounded, trimmed. It's got the head and tail bands as well as the ribbon bookmark. It was bound, all of these were bound using trade paperbacks or hardcovers. So right up on the back, and that's what it collects. Not in that order, but that's what it collects. And there's the back cover. So this was a huge process. These were bound at Houchen Bindery. I got someone to design the covers, and I just sort of picked the stuff I wanted and what I wanted to go in. But if you're not familiar with custom binds, basically they take your comic books and turn them into something like this. You can bind them in any order you want, the pages and whatnot. Like, you have a lot of ability to do stuff. But this set was the first set that I prepped on my own, because normally when I'd send stuff, it would be, the first stuff I did was a set of the New 52 for Batman, and I literally just took the trade paperbacks and I did not remove the covers or anything. I just sent them as is to the bindery, and they removed the covers for me, which is something that they do. But these ones, this series, I wanted to try doing it on my own, and I could not be more happy with how it turned out. Basically, what I would do is I would remove the cardstock covers with a hairdryer, which would help melt the glue, or I'd just rip it off with brute force, and then I would peel off the title pages and the extras at the back. I'd throw any ads at the back of the book, because sometimes they would have like ads recommending other books. But these ones I really customized the order that things were bound in, especially because when reading the Batman New 52 books that I did, Houchen wouldn't, I think you can tell them to, but I didn't, that you can remove certain pages and stuff, I think, but when you read the New 52 Batman books that I did, you're going to be running into title pages like this, for example, like every few issues or so, because they just sort of interrupt the book. But that's not the case with these. I took all the title pages and I took them out, as well as the extras. So you read this as if this was one entire book, instead of reading it like it's three or four trade paperbacks bound together in one, where you'd have title pages and extras interrupting like every few issues. So as you saw before, this is the title page for book 1 of the Geoff Johns paperbacks, and then it just jumps straight in to the main series. This is Green Lantern Rebirth, I believe. This is the first stuff in this book. All these books were done using defab binding. They were trimmed. They were rounded. So trimmed means the spine they'll like basically cut the book, because some comic books are all like different lengths, like slightly, but these, you run your finger down here and it feels like pretty much all the same length. And you can see that line there. This is a ribbon bookmark, and then it has head and tail bends, which you can barely see, but, and then the spine is rounded instead of it being flat. I just like the rounded look better. That's just personally what I like. The covers are really glossy, and they're nice and smooth, which is nice. The end sheets, you can get black, but you have to pay extra for it. I think you can do custom ones too, but again, it really adds up. Anyway, back into this. So I put the title pages at the front, and then yeah, you jump right into it. So there's no title. The only thing that interrupts the story is covers. That's the only thing I kept. There's the cover of the book. Is covers of the stories. There's no title pages that interrupt the book midway through or anything like that. I also put everything in reading order. Or as I like following a reading order online. I use like a bunch of different sources for different books. Because originally I was just going to throw all the trades together and just have it done that way, but then I was like, you know what, I'm going to try something new and just, have everything taken apart and try it out. And I think I'm going to do that for all the books. And even the next set that I'm going to do, I've already prepped all of those. I removed the covers. I did the same thing I did for these that I would do for that set as well. But this one was bound using, I think, 4 trade paperbacks. It's a pretty solid size, honestly. Like, the binding is defab, it's glued, so it's a good binding. You can see the eye down there. Yeah, I could not be more happy with the way these turned out. They're incredible. So this book, just to talk about story for a bit, there's the gutter loss. You do lose a little bit of picture, but honestly, I don't really care. As long as I'm not losing words, I'll be fine. But this book collects everything up until the Sinestro Corps War, is what it collects. And I already showed the back of what it collects. There's another full spread page. I'll put links to reading orders and stuff that I used in the description. I have not read much of this. I've read bits and pieces, and now we're on Green Lantern Corps. Another thing with custom binds is, you'll notice page quality is a little different. These Green Lantern Corps books have really thin pages, so I had to be really careful. I ended up ripping a couple of things, but it was all okay. So, yeah. So, Geoff Johns Green Lantern, you can read using the omnibuses, and they just released a Green Lantern Corps omnibus, but I wanted to read all of this stuff together. I didn't want to be jumping around books to, like, find different things and understand different parts of the story. So, I took it on myself to bind it all in the order that, well, I really just want it to be bound in. So this keeps it all in one place. Look at that. Things open, it's only a few pages left. But like I was saying earlier, I kept all the extras together. I'll show you. Where are they? Bonus section. So this has variant covers, sketches, another variant cover, and then it has the covers of the books. See that all, but this has Green Lantern by Geoff Johns book 1, which is in the front, and then 2. This also has Green Lantern Corps 2B, a lantern, and the Dark Side of Green. So as I said, this one is everything up until the Sinestro Corps War. Down there. Next we got Volume 2. This is the Emotional Spectrum. There are the names over there. The Emotional Spectrum. Geoff Johns Era, Volume 2. We got our Sinestro Corps War cover right there. And there's down there. It's a good size. On the back, got Atrocitus. And then that's the write-up, the Sinestro Corps War. It says, this collects the Sinestro Corps War. It starts off with that. And it goes everything, I think, through Raid of the Red Lanterns. So it's not everything up until Blackest Night, but it's most of it. This one is I love the covers on this one. But again, same thing with this one. Yeah, the title page here, book 2. But there it is. You might remember book 2 of these trade paperbacks, Green Lantern by Geoff Johns, was collected in the first volume. So I just took the title page from over there and threw it as a title page for this one. And there's the front cover, and then it just jumped straight in. I did that because I didn't want to open the book and it'd say like something else that it's not. So like, this is volume 2. So I wanted it to say book 2, even though the stories in what were this trade paperback are not in this book. They're in the first one. But yeah, it kicks off with the Sinestro Corps War. That's another really good cover I wanted to use, but it's fun picking covers, I gotta say. That's like probably the best part, is like, because sometimes when DC does official releases, they don't pick the covers that you want, or like the ones that you would use or whatever. They kind of just pick like a random cover. So like with this, you get to pick whatever cover you want, which is a lot of fun to do. But yeah, Sinestro Corps War. So you get in here. It's like the first big chunk of the book. And that trade paperback had everything in reading order for that. So I just left it as is. That's another big spread page. I didn't mess with it. Then after that ends, it gets into Green Lantern Corps. This is number 19. And you start reading that. Man, I've read very little of this series. I've read stuff and that's like bits and pieces of it. Like I've read Green Lantern Rebirth. I've read Secret Origin. I've read some of the New 52 stuff, but I haven't read everything. So this will be my first time reading most of this series. So this was something that I had a dilemma with. So on this page, it has a story page right there. So on this page, that's a cover for the next issue. But the next issue you're supposed to read after this story. So I had to leave the cover here because, of course, of this. So I left it there. And then you jump into this Green Lantern issue, the Alpha Lanterns, Part 1. And then you read all of that story. And then this is where that cover that I was just talking about, this cover right here, is a cover to this. So that's something that I kind of had to do. So I literally intersected this story arc right here in between that. And Houchen bound them together. And it's a seamless transition. Of course, there's no cover to separate it. And then you read this story, and then it's back to some Alpha Lantern stuff. But I think a different Green Lantern Corps volume. And then we can take a look at the binding down there. But this was bound using a mix of mostly trade paperbacks and hardcovers. Houchen does a great job. And then you get into Secret Origin right there. It takes place here. Well, it doesn't take place here. Technically, it takes place before all this, but it's sort of like the flashback, right? That eventually connects to, I think, what's going on in the modern day. Since the Star Sapphire. So many good covers in this. Alright, let's take a look at the extras that I did in this one. Gotta find them. So the book ends right here. And then you get this cover here, and then it gets into, I think this is Green Lantern Secret Files and Origins. So it's not a story, but it's like a biography type book. I haven't read it, but I put it back here as I feel like it kind of goes with the extras. It's got like a lot of bits and pieces about different characters and stuff. It's pretty cool. And then you got covers. I had to keep this ad, so it was another one because there's a cover on the other side I wanted to keep. And then you see here, this is Geoff Johns book 3. Book 4, you can't really see it, but I'm telling you. Ring Quest, Sins Star Sapphire, and yeah, that's 1 and 2. We're on book 3, Blackest Night. We put the logo at the bottom, because otherwise it would cover this guy's giant face. And there's the names. And then I'll flip it over. This is a beast of a book. Back, I got Star Sapphire. It's the write-up, what it collects. This collects all of Blackest Night, like all of the main stuff. And again, I gave the book the title page just from the trade paperbacks. It's Blackest Night. And then I kept the intro. I kept the story so far. And then it starts off with Agent Orange. So it doesn't directly start off with Blackest Night, but it starts off with the stuff that sort of leads into it. Like Agent Orange. And then another story, Emerald Eclipse. This book was one of the more complicated ones that I did. And there were 3 really complicated ones. This is the first one that I did. Because this one, I'll show the binding right there. You can see in the corner. It's already open. We're not super far in. So Houchen's got their binding shit really well done. But this Blackest Night, basically, you read it. There's, for the main stuff, there's 3 different series, right? It's Blackest Night, Green Lantern Blackest Night, Green Lantern Corps Blackest Night. The way DC released it was in, well, there's a lot more trade paperbacks, but mainly 3 trade paperbacks. You had Blackest Night, Green Lantern Blackest Night, and Green Lantern Corps Blackest Night. And if you wanted to read it, you'd have to read one, and then read another, and read another. But the correct way to read it is to read like an issue of Blackest Night, and then I think a Green Lantern issue, and then a Green Lantern Corps issue. So you kind of, if you do that, you'd be jumping between books. Here's the start of Blackest Night right here, with Green Lantern 43. So I didn't really want to be jumping between 3 different trades to read Blackest Night. I kind of just wanted to sit down, read the whole thing. You know what I mean? So I took those 3 trade paperbacks, and I, of course, removed the covers, removed the title pages and extras, and then I peeled each single issue or chapter out of the book individually. And then I sorted them in order. So now I get to this issue here. And it was a lot of work. That took a while. And then I also inserted, these are the Tales of the Corps issues. I also inserted, which are like just some side stories that I threw in that seemed pretty important from the reading what I was looking at. So I just threw them in here. So I had a ton of issues. This stack that I sent for them was a big mess of just tons and tons of stuff. And there's Blackest Night Part 1 right here. So this book is pretty huge. There's lots of content in here, lots of different characters. I'm really excited to read Blackest Night in this version. There's Green Lantern issue, we got Green Lantern Corps in here. But yeah, I went issue by issue, put them in order, and Houchen bound it exactly as I sent it, which is incredible. So now you get up to Part 3. I've not read Blackest Night yet. I've only heard good things about it. I heard it's a really cool story. This was another cover I kind of wanted to use, but I didn't end up using it. It would have been cool, but I was like, nah, I'll use some other ones. So this book does not include, like, any of the tie-ins. This is just strictly the main Blackest Night stuff. Well, with Green Lantern Corps, and Tales of the Corps. Those are the only series that I put in this book. For extras, I didn't put a whole ton, and you'll see why. Because this book was already really thick. But it ends right there. And then you get the variant covers. And I only really included the extras from Agent Orange and Emerald Eclipse, because there's a ton of Blackest Night extras. And, well, there's another Blackest Night book coming up, and then you get some of these little blurbs about the different Lantern Corps. And there's the Emerald Eclipse variant covers. So this is, yeah, Agent Orange, Emerald Eclipse. Those are like 2 books that lead into it, and then I have the title page of Blackest Night Green Lantern, and Green Lantern Corps Blackest Night. So that's that one. But like I said, I wanted to include all of Blackest Night, but I didn't want to have all the tie-ins interrupting the main story. So that's where Volume 4 comes in. Volume 4 is Rise of the Black Lanterns. This book collects all of the tie-ins that were released in trade paperback. Does it tell in the corner of the back? But that's what it collects. So you got like Blackest Night, Batman, Superman, Titans, Wonder Woman, Flash, Shazam, The Question. This has everybody in it. I love that picture right there. On the books, I also wanted to include like all the Lantern Corps, at least on the cover. So that's why the back of the Blackest Night book had Star Sapphire, because I wanted to have all of them sort of represented on it. I just thought that was really cool. Look how glossy that is. That's crazy. Yeah, Rise of the Black Lanterns, Volume 4, and it says it right up there. Rise of the Black Lanterns. Let's just have this thing focus. But yeah, so this one, since I didn't want them interrupting the main story, oh, I also put this at the front. The Book of the Black, whatever it's called. There's a lot of tie-ins, and I didn't want to be reading, the Green Lantern stuff and have all that hype interrupted by something like this. So I wanted to keep all of those stories separate, but also have them included in the set. So that's why I did this. So this book really acts as like the companion to Blackest Night. You got, like I said, Superman, Wonder Woman, like all the tie-ins that were released in trade paperback are included in this book. And this one I didn't really have to do anything crazy. It was really just remove the covers and just put them in everything, because I think all of these are like, they don't lead into the next. They all kind of like happen around like the same time or whatever. I'm not sure, but I didn't really think it was that necessary, as this was gonna just be a companion to the main one. Anyway, we got the Flash here. Yeah. So this one's a smaller one, but it's still surprisingly a pretty decent sized volume. And this one has all the extras for Blackest Night. I said that since this is going to be the companion, this needs to have everything in it. So where's extras? So that ends here. And then it's got the variant cover. So there's the cover I used on the Blackest Night book, but I kept all the variants. Lots of variant covers in this. Like I said, I just threw everything in here. Tales of the Corps, since some of the other issues, there's the Green Arrow ones. There's so many extras in this book. Look at all this. All of the Blackest Night books had sketches of the different Black Lanterns. There's so many. I put as many as I could together back here as possible. There's so many, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna put them on this one. Like I said, this is the Blackest Night sort of companion. So it doesn't really directly continue the story after Blackest Night, but it's sort of just the side stories, and I'm skipping through a whole ton of stuff. I also kept the director's commentary. Then we get to the main stuff. So Tales of the Corps. There's a couple other issues in this book that I kept in here, except the main Tales of the Corps issues I put in the Blackest Night book. But this has... What did this one collect? See, this is the good thing about keeping these. I can look. So the ones I kept in here were, I think, the Action Comics ones. Yeah, just those ones. So this is Black Lantern Corps Volume 1. And then Volume 2. And then it also had the book Rise of the Black Lanterns. Then we get to another, arguably even more complicated book. Brightest Day. Volume 5. Brightest Day. This is like Blackest Night, right? It's the sequel to it. It's also pretty good size. But instead of 3 series that I'm cutting up, it's 4. And it doesn't have all of it because there's so much. But Brightest Day ends at, I think, issue 25 or something. And this one ends at 18. This one was like 6 different books. Instead of the Blackest Night one, which was 3 trade paperbacks, this one was like 6 different ones that I was cutting up and putting in order. And it turned out incredible. I love the title page on this one too. Brightest Day, Volume 1. So yeah, this has the main Brightest Day in it as well. It's got Brightest Day. It's got Green Lantern. It's got New Guardians. It's got Green Lantern Corps. I don't know how well all of that connects to each other, but I said I want this in this order, and that's what I did. This one is a little bit more difficult, because some of the pages are really thick, especially the New Guardians one, since it came from a hardcover. Not an oversized hardcover, not that, just a normal size, and those have thicker pages. So it was a little bit difficult, but I managed. Oh, I think these stories were like included in another book or something like that, and then I moved. Yeah, that's right. Something was included in a different trade paperback that took place in an earlier one of the binds that I think I ended up moving up to this one. I forget what it was. It might have been Revolt of the Alpha Lanterns, because I feel like that was one that I did before. And then you can see the binding on there. It's great. DFAB is the one I used. They also have sewn binding, which is for single issues. Yeah, this one, unfortunately, I couldn't include all of Brightest Day, because it would have been way too thick of a book. But this has the bulk of the story. Rise. And this one I didn't include like crazy tie-ins. I don't know what happened here. I don't know if it's like falling apart or what, but that's not good. And even over there too, it looks like there's like a little bit of something going on. I'm trying to remember. Here's like, I put all the extras in. There's so many covers in this one. So many. There's even like a little story over here that I threw in. Sketches. Here's what the contents were for trades anyway. So it's Brightest Day Volume 1, Volume 2, I think part of Volume 3. And then Green Lantern Brightest Day. Revolt of the Alpha Lanterns. The Weaponeer. Part of the Weaponeer, not all of it. And Emerald Warriors Volume 1. That was like, those were like all the freaking trade paperbacks. And then you got Volume 6, War of the Green Lanterns. So this book is a very interesting book, because this one ends Brightest Day, right? But then it also has War of the Green Lanterns. But then it also starts the New 52. The last 3 issues of the book start the New 52 for Green Lantern. So yeah, War of the Green Lanterns, and yeah, I'm still kind of upset about that spine, as you can see. I don't really know what happened. It looks like maybe we got, like, they mismeasured it, and they just never mentioned it to us, which really sucks. But anyway, there's the title page. Lanterns. It looks like, yeah, we're here. I might have like messed up when I was doing it, so the pages are a little messed up here, but I think that's more my fault than theirs. They kind of just tried their best, but yeah. So it continues. Jesus, some of these are a little messy. With Brightest Day. Yeah, this thing will not just fold properly. But yeah, so this book collects like the remainder third of Brightest Day. And all of that. Brightest Day is a long story, especially when you put it in with all the tie-ins and stuff. It's like, jeez, the Weaponeer there. So this book's got a lot of stuff in it. This one's really, like I said, a big transition book. That's the rest of Brightest Day. All of that. Imagine all of that in the Brightest Day actual volume. I was like, yeah. So I needed to find a decent place to cut it, so like the book just doesn't end abruptly. But I think the Brightest Day one ended on like a cliffhanger. At least that's what it looked like. Then we're getting into some Guy Gardner stuff, and then it starts to get into War of the Green Lanterns until that begins. And then you read War of the Green Lanterns, and the binding is pretty good from here on out. I don't think I really need to rearrange a whole ton in this book, because a lot of the War of the Green Lanterns books were already in like a solid reading order, so I just kind of left it as is. Then here's the New 52. The last section of the book is just the first 3 issues of that. Because when the New 52 hit for Green Lantern, Geoff Johns was still writing his run on the character, so I don't think anything really changed. They just kind of left it off, and they just continued it from what it looks like. And then you have all the variant covers. Again, I like to keep those at the end. And there's some sketches at the back, too. So this one collected War of the Green Lanterns, War of the Green Lanterns Aftermath, and then I had to keep this ad in here because of the sketch. Well, I didn't have to, but I wanted to, and then Volume 1 Sinestro. And then, of course, like the first half of the book is just the rest of Brightest Day. Alright, Volume 7. Another big one. Beyond Hope. And like I said, I wanted all the books to sort of represent different Lantern Corps, so that's when I got to use this cover from a New Guardians issue featuring the Blue Lanterns, and on the back we got Larkin's. So this book collects all the stuff up until Rise of the Third Army. So this is the bulk of the New 52 stuff. This one was like 6 different trades I threw together. It's another pretty thick book. Beyond Hope. And this is Volume 2, Beyond Hope, from New Guardians. It doesn't start off with that, but it starts off with the first issue. So this one was another one that originally I wasn't going to splice issues around like I did with Brightest Day and Blackest Night. But I found a reading order, and I decided to do it. So I'll be reading Green Lantern New Guardians, and then eventually it'll get back to Hal Jordan and Sinestro, and then it switches over to Red Lanterns, and you'll be reading that. Look at it, it's already open. Not that far in. And then, yeah, so it's got Red Lanterns, it's got New Guardians, Green Lantern Corps. Basically, this collects volumes 1 and 2 of the trade paperbacks for all 4 series, aside from the first issues of Green Lantern. I did end up cutting things out of the book. For example, some issues repeated in some of the books. Like, they had, like, the same issues, so I ended up, if issues repeated, I just removed them. You got a lot of Red Lanterns in here, a lot of New Guardians. This is a thick book, but this one turned out really good. Despite how many different series there are in here. This is all leading up to the final volume, Wrath of the First Lantern. I'm just kind of skipping through. And then at the end, it sort of really starts to build up with Revenge of Black Hand and cutting back with Green Lantern Corps. So let's see. This one's long. Alright. And ends. And then we got like variant covers, tons of sketches, script pages. So yeah, it has volume 1 of Red Lanterns. It has volume 2 of Red Lanterns. New Guardians volume 1. Oh no, volume 2 is the cover of the first one. I mean, the cover of this book. Green Lantern Corps volume 1, volume 2. And Green Lantern volume 2. And also most of volume 1. But I already used that cover in the last book, volume 6. Alright, the final book. Volume 8. The Wrath of the First Lantern. This is the final cover of the final Geoff Johns issue, I believe. So, it's also a wraparound cover. You can see, that's Green Lantern's shoulder. It's on the front cover, and I love this. I love the back. It looks so cool. That's the issues it collects. In this book, I just used the trade paperbacks that they did for Rise of the Third Army and Wrath of the First Lantern. I mean, the hardcovers. The hardcover versions I used. But they have it in trades as well. And then it says, The Wrath of the First Lantern. I had it start out with issue 0 because I didn't really know where else to put this issue, so I was just like, we'll put it here. And then there you go. The beginning of Rise of the Third Army. This book, I just left most of the stuff the same. I really didn't splice anything on this one, aside from issue 0 of Green Lantern Corps, which was the first issue that you read. But I've read this story arc already, like in middle school, so it's been a bit, but now I'm going to be rereading it. Should be fun. I kept the trades, or the hardcover reading order as they were, because it was like pretty much the same as the reading order that I was following, so I was just like, I'm not gonna do another splicing. It just got like really annoying, and it took a while to just use the hair dryer to like soften the glue, and it was like, it was worth it, but I was just like, I've done so many, I'm done. Yeah, this one isn't that huge, but since it used hardcovers, both of these, the pages are a lot thicker, but it doesn't lay flat as well, because the pages, like I said, are a bit thicker, but I think after a few read-throughs or whatever, it'll be fine. There isn't much for extras in this book. But there it ends. There's a couple of covers. Rise of the Third Army. Oh yeah, I kept this. This was at the end of, I think, volume 2. You can see that covers from volume 2, but I decided to keep this here. This would have been a really cool title page, actually. Now that I think about it, it would have been pretty dope. It would have been a really cool connecting spine image for this, but it doesn't have Hal Jordan on it, so I was like, nah. And then, yeah, there's just a handful of sketches in the back. Not a whole ton. But yeah, Rise of the Third Army. It just had just 2 giant collections. Holy crap, that is a lot of Green Lantern. Look at that stack right there. Damn. That looks crazy. Alright, I'm gonna go put it on the shelf and we'll see what it looks like. Here's the content I was talking about. Like, this was a teaser at the end of one of the volumes. You can see, that's just a page. It then ended up kind of falling apart, but that's kind of what it looks like. So these pages repeated. They were repeated. This is the back of the hardcover, as you can see there. This issue also repeated. This was teased, I think, at the end of one of the Green Lantern Corps books. So basically, this is what it would look like when you peel it out of a trade paperback. This one's a little more intact because there's still some glue on it, so you can. I mean, you can still like read it. The pages are still bound together, as you can see. But these issues also repeated, so I just took them out. I didn't really know what to do with them. Yeah, there's still glue on it. So you literally just like peel it, and it all comes out. You don't even really need to use a hair dryer. I just kind of have it just to like help, but sometimes you don't need it. All right, here it is. They're on the shelf. The lighting is not the best, so I'm just using my phone to light, but there you go. That's my Green Lantern collection. I got some space. I did end up making a bookmark. Let's put something down. This is from the dust jackets of one of the Blackest Night books. So I just took the two flaps and I just glued them together. It's pretty cool. Oh, yeah. Look at that. So those books are by a different author, Robert Bindery. So if I decide to do another set, like I could do, it'd be like a similar style. Instead of the Geoff Johns Era, it'd be the Robert Bindery era. Because I think he wrote Green Lantern after Geoff Johns in the New 52, and then went on to write into Rebirth. But yeah. Fuck. Well, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching this really long video, and I'm probably going to just jump into reading these. See you in the next one.